Hello SLAPAFISH community, welcome back to another World Tanks Console video. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you tips and tricks for the M56 Scorpion, a tier 7 American tank destroyer. Also, this is part of the evolution season at level 45, and you can get this without the season pass. So that's kind of cool. So let's go over this tank right quick. What's the strength and weaknesses of this tank? Now, this tank has absolutely no armor. None whatsoever. So high explosive will pin you every single time. People could barely just touch you and you lose a ton of hit points. The mobility is quite good at 45. The gun is decent at 1,846 DPM. But the real thing about this tank is its concealment. This tank is loaded down with concealment at 40%, so that's really, really good. But its view range does suck at 350 meters. So let's go over the equipment and crew skills I have on this tank to make this tank work to its strengths and make some of its weaknesses better. Now, my equipment I have on this tank is the advanced optics, advanced concealment, and the advanced loader, and the enhanced target info, basically already improving the amazing concealment of this tank, improving the terrible view range, and improving the DPM of the tank. Now, the accuracy is actually pretty good at 0.33, so you don't really need to put the vertical stabilizer on this tank. But my crew skills is running board leader, rapid loading, steady aim, so that's the only accuracy thing I have on here. Green thumb, sixth sense, situational awareness, muffled shot, camouflage expertise, and silent driving. So basically, I'm improving the concealment to make it even better. I put all the max concealment stuff on here. I painted my tank, and I put rations on, which doesn't improve your concealment, but it improves everything else. I improved the DPM as much as I possibly can get it. The DPM of my tank went from 1,846 to 2,474. My view range went from 350 to 448. Also, if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing because it's free, and also leaving the video a like. Alright. So let's talk a little bit about this tank. Now, this tank, like I said before, you really want to use the concealment of this tank. The concealment. You want to buff up that view range and buff up your concealment and buff up your DPM. So you could pretty much stay hidden and outspot your opponents and then rip them apart. Now, here's a good thing to have. Now, if you have muffled shot and everything I have on this tank, if you are sitting perfectly still and there is an enemy tank that you're shooting at, and you're in the open, you're in the complete open, nothing between you and that enemy tank. No bushes, no trees, no buildings, no nothing. And you're firing at that tank. Make sure that tank is about one square away from your concealment circle, because when you fire, you lose some of your concealment, and muffle shot helps reduce that, but you still will lose some of it. So make sure if you see a tank, make sure it's one square away from your concealment circle while you're sitting still. Then fire, and you won't get spotted. If it's a light tank, on the other hand, make sure it's about a square and a half away from that concealment circle. Anything farther away, you should be fine. But when you get behind bushes, you start using the bush mechanic and stuff like that. Tanks can get a lot closer, and you can still fire and won't get spotted. You can get pretty dang close. They can get pretty dang close. When you're sitting still behind bushes, behind trees, and you're firing, they can get pretty close before they even spot you. So yeah, this tank strength, definitely you want to play to its concealment. You want to find spots on the maps to stay hidden and stay hidden. And if you do get spotted, find some spots, find some cover to always retreat behind, because you really don't want to get hit in this tank, because this tank will not be able to bounce shots, because this tank has literally no armor. It's got its maximum amount of armor it has is 15 millimeters, and everywhere else is nothing. There's even 1 millimeter of armor, which is pretty big on this tank. You do have 820 hit points, so if you do get hit, you can survive a hit or two, but I definitely don't recommend it. You really just want to stay hidden in this tank, camo out, paint your tank, and when you're in battle, use your rations to help you spot. Activate rations to spot people out. That's about the only thing I can give you. Also, you want to track people? Track them. Stay hidden. And if you're fighting like Himmelsdorf and there's no possible way you can stay hidden, be a support tank. Be a support tank and let your friendlies take the hits so you don't have to. Because you are very small and no armor. But when you get into those positions when it's a 1v1, use your smallness. Use your mobility. Use it. When you can't stay hidden and you don't have allies, use your mobility. When it's 1v1s, use your mobility. Get behind tanks. Outrun turrets. Get closer to the tanks. It works. Anyway, that's it for this video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Ultimate SLAPAFISH, because one was not, and peace out.